both goaltenders this weekend?
Well, haven't made that decision for sure, but I'd say good possibility, yeah.
Are you going to play Devon tonight?
We are.
You know, it's been a while since that Columbus game. I mean, when you have a guy who has to sit on a game like that, what do you look for from him early?
Just, initially is just look at his practices, and he put that away real quick. And I don't know if you can totally lump that whole game on him. So practices have been great, and we know he's a good goaltender. We know we're going to need him. We know our schedule starts getting heavy. So, the plan is to still, keep trying to use both. But at the same time, if somebody really gets on a tear, they'll play.
And people see games only, but for people who are at practice, especially coaches, I mean, how significant in your mind these goalies, especially in practice, for them to look good?
The practice compete by our goalies is fantastic. These guys compete on every puck and every drill, and it's something that a lot of people, like you say, don't see. We get to see it. We get to see how frustrated sometimes our forwards are. We had a drill that we were waiting for next goal wins, and the drill probably lasted 3 more minutes because of our goaltenders. And that's the type of compete you want to see.
Is that a possibility for next week, maybe?
For sure. Back on the ice today, my conversation with him, he's feeling a lot better. So very encouraging.
Have you told him, he tried to play through that injury, have you told him, like, maybe next time just maybe don't push it so much?
It's hard to tell a player not to play. I had a conversation, but there's a lot of times you're not 100%. There's a lot of guys that aren't 100%. There's something that might be bothering a lot of different players right now. If it starts affecting your play, that's kind of when you got to step in and say, we're going to have to take you out. And a lot of times a player doesn't want to come out. That's a good thing.
And just the depth. I mean, you've had to make some tough decisions here, really, and you'll have to make more. I mean, how good is it just to have that, to have to do that because you have the depth?
Yeah, I think thoughts on back-to-back games, even there, we'll have depth to put some fresh bodies in that our back-to-backs haven't been that good. Maybe putting a couple fresh guys in can help us out in back-to-back.
You always want to start a game well, but in this particular game, you're playing an opponent that scored 1 goal in the last 8 periods. Just how paramount is it to keep them down and don't give them any confidence at all?
Yeah, very important. I didn't like the fact the penalty we took early in the game. That keeps your best players off the ice. We gave Florida the start they wanted. We rebounded with a good second period, but couldn't match that in the third. But when it comes to first period play, there's hurting yourself by taking penalties, needless penalties. The play in front of the net was a penalty we don't need to take. That's the stuff that has to end for us. And then it's playing a 200-foot game. A 200-foot game means we can get in there and get after their defense. But if we turn it over in the neutral zone or at the blue line, really all we're doing is breaking them out. So we've really talked a lot about how we need to start. And we've had some really good starts, but we got to get consistent with that part of our game.
When you watch the tape of the Islanders, are you seeing a team that's, just in a little bit of bad puck luck right now, or do you see a team that can be sort of boxed away from
I'm so worried about my team that I'm not going to coach another team right now. And I'm being serious. I've looked at a pre-scout. They've got a lot of good players, and just really trying to focus in on my guys. They're a good team. They're a playoff team, and so we can't take them lightly, and we can't take the fact that sometimes you go through a little stretch, and we went through it early where we didn't score. Sometimes that's puck luck. Sometimes that's getting to the right place.
Did you agree the last couple of games? It seems like you're defending okay, then all of a sudden there's the mistake that winds up in your net or something. It just seems like all of a sudden something pops up out of nowhere. Maybe it's a bad decision or something like that.
Yeah,
Would you
we've
agree
been
with
prone. You're exactly right. We've been prone to the big mistake. We're defending well, but we'll make a big mistake, and it's hurt us. We've gone games where you're not going to go mistake free. I mean, no team does. But we've been prone to that big mistake, like leaving the net front on the power play goal, leaving the middle of the ice on the odd-numbered rush goal. So there's big mistakes that have hurt us. So we're better. We've been a lot better at preventing those type of situations are down. But I still think we can be even better.
Lindy, I wonder what your impressions are of Tage now that you're on the inside. You know, you had an impression coming into the job. Now you've had a couple months. Anything jump off the page that you didn't know about him that impresses you?
I'd say right now his willingness to keep getting better as a player. His work away from the puck has been, I would say, almost second to none on the team. Like his tracking and his physicality and just all parts of his game have been really good. That's probably the thing that has impressed me most, that he's taken a lot of pride in making sure that away from the puck he's playing a real solid game too.